A direct Iranian missile strike on Western interests in Bahrain has sent shockwaves through the global community. This escalation in the War of Hormuz has drawn immediate U.S. military responses, pushing the region closer to an unprecedented conflict. Here's everything we know. The upcoming days are critical in determining the trajectory of this escalating conflict. Recent tensions have been exacerbated by a series of provocative actions, including attacks on oil tankers and military installations in the Gulf region. These incidents are not isolated. They reflect long-standing geopolitical rivalries and the complex web of alliances in the Middle East. One likely scenario is that Iran will retaliate with further attacks on U.S. and Western interests within the next 72 hours. Such retaliatory measures could target U.S. military bases in the Gulf, Israeli assets, or even European shipping routes, all of which are vital for global trade and energy supplies. In response, the United States may intensify its military strikes on Iranian soil, potentially focusing on nuclear facilities or military command centers that are believed to be central to Iran's regional ambitions. Another outcome could see the conflict spreading beyond Iran and Bahrain, involving Hezbollah and other Iranian proxies launching attacks against U.S. and Israeli targets in Lebanon and Syria. This escalation could lead to a regional war that draws in multiple nations, including Saudi Arabia and possibly NATO allies, significantly increasing the stakes. The ramifications of such a conflict would not only destabilize the region, but could also disrupt global oil supplies and heighten tensions between major world powers, potentially leading to a global economic crisis. Experts warn that the situation is extremely volatile, and what happens next will depend heavily on the decisions made by both the Iranian and U.S. administrations. With diplomatic channels having been largely ineffective in recent months, the potential for miscalculation grows. As we look ahead, the pressing question remains: will diplomatic efforts emerge to de-escalate this crisis, or are we on the brink of a larger, more destructive conflict that could reshape the Middle East? The current crisis has deep historical roots, stemming from a decade of failed diplomacy and mutual distrust between the United States and Iran. The pivotal moment occurred in 2018 when the U.S. withdrew from the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, commonly known as the Iran nuclear deal, and reinstated harsh economic sanctions. This withdrawal not only crippled Iran's economy, but also eliminated a framework that had previously curbed its nuclear ambitions. As a result, Iran accelerated its nuclear program and extended its influence across the Middle East through proxy warfare. Iran has built a network of aligned groups like Hezbollah in Lebanon, Hamas in Gaza, and the Houthis in Yemen, which have been utilized to attack U.S. interests, creating an ongoing cycle of retaliation. The U.S. response has included an increased military presence and support for regional allies, particularly Israel. Despite a brief stabilization period following a 2023 Memorandum of Understanding, the relationship has remained hostile, with the U.S. backing Israeli military actions, while Iran has continued to expand its nuclear ambitions. The immediate trigger for the attack on Bahrain appears to be a culmination of U.S. and Israeli military actions in the region, combined with Iran's need to project strength both domestically and internationally. As tensions have escalated, both sides have repeatedly failed to find a diplomatic solution, leading to today's alarming military confrontation. The impact of this crisis extends beyond regional instability, potentially affecting global oil markets and international alliances. As both nations remain entrenched in their positions, the outlook is grim. Without renewed diplomatic efforts and a commitment to dialogue, the potential for a broader conflict looms large, threatening to destabilize not just the Middle East, but also crucial international trade routes and global security frameworks. The recent escalation in the conflict has raised alarm bells across the globe. The grounding of a container ship in the Hormuz Strait, coupled with a missile strike on another vessel, has highlighted the fragility of one of the world's most vital maritime corridors. This area is not only crucial for oil transportation, but also serves as a strategic route for various goods that sustain economies worldwide. The immediate fallout from these events has already started to ripple through global financial markets, with oil prices climbing significantly as traders react to the uncertainty. Historically, the Hormuz Strait has been a flashpoint for geopolitical tensions, particularly between Iran and Western nations. The U.S. has long maintained a military presence in the region to ensure the free flow of commerce and to deter Iranian aggression. However, the decision to engage directly on Iranian soil marks a pivotal shift in U.S. foreign policy. This move raises concerns about a new era of military engagement that could embolden other countries to pursue aggressive actions without fear of reprisal. The implications of such a shift are profound. A sustained conflict could disrupt not only oil supplies, but also global trade networks, causing economic ramifications that may push countries into recession. The interconnectedness of economies means that the fallout would not be confined to the Middle East. Furthermore, the involvement of regional players like Israel complicates the situation further. Already engaged in military operations against Hezbollah, any escalation could lead to a wider regional conflict that draws in multiple nations. Should the situation deteriorate further, we could witness a multi-front war involving Iran, Israel, and other regional actors, thereby increasing the likelihood of NATO's involvement. This scenario poses an existential threat to global stability, affecting everything from energy prices to international security alliances. Looking ahead, it is crucial for diplomatic efforts to be prioritized to de-escalate tensions. The stakes have never been higher, and the world must navigate this precarious situation with caution. The coming weeks will be critical in determining whether a broader conflict can be averted or if we are on the brink of a significant geopolitical upheaval. On June 30th, 2026, at approximately 10 a.m. local time, Iran launched a series of missiles targeting Western interests in Bahrain, a key ally of the United States and a critical hub for global energy logistics. This attack represents a significant escalation in the ongoing tensions between Iran and the West, which have been simmering for years due to disputes over Iran's nuclear program and its regional influence. The U.S. has maintained a military presence in Bahrain, making the attack particularly provocative and raising concerns about the safety of American personnel and assets in the region. In response, the United States initiated retaliatory military operations around 1:30 p.m., striking multiple Iranian sites believed to be linked to the missile launch. This marked a shocking shift from diplomatic engagements to direct military action, a move that could have serious ramifications for regional stability. Just hours later, at 3 p.m., a second vessel was struck by an Iranian projectile in the Hormuz Strait, a crucial maritime route through which over 10 million barrels of oil transit daily. This event paralyzed operations in a key segment of the strait, which is vital for global energy supplies and has historically been a flashpoint for military confrontations. The grounding of a large container ship earlier in the day, forced off its designated route by Iranian military maneuvers, compounded the chaos in the strait and raised fears of a broader maritime conflict. Iranian officials have since declared that the terms of any agreement with the U.S. must include compliance from Israel, indicating that the missile strike was a calculated move to assert power and challenge perceived Western Israeli dominance. This situation marks a dangerous turning point in U.S.-Iran relations, as it involves direct military confrontation rather than proxy conflicts. The potential for further escalation remains high, and analysts warn that this could lead to a wider regional conflict. As diplomatic channels appear to be closing, the international community faces a critical moment where decisive actions will shape the future of Middle Eastern geopolitics and global energy security. The coming days will be pivotal in determining whether this conflict can be contained or whether it will spiral into a larger confrontation. As we consider the potential implications of this escalating conflict, what do you think will happen next? Share your predictions in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for daily deep dives into the most pressing global issues.